Right. How's it, guys? Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining me for yet another session, and thank you for watching this episode. I'm just doing a quick three-part, four-part, different episodes on different things to do with emergencies, and just hopefully share a few principles. The previous episode, which I just posted, which was episode 21, I was talking about the duties of an evacuation marshal. Now, I just want to talk about in fact, I did it the other way around. I should have started with the role players, then the duties. But anyway, no one is marking. It's not an exam, and we can do business unusual. So in this episode, I just want to talk about role players in an emergency. 5 role players who participate in an emergency, who must be participating in emergency. In other words, I'm saying here that in the event that at your premises, at your organization, a fire breaks out, big fire. In the event that that fire happens, there are 5 main role players whom you should have in your organization who are trained, competent, practiced, know what they're doing, and they are on the top of their game. Because if these 5 people do not know what they are doing, or if these 5 people are non-existing in your organization, it can pose a serious risk, and it can lead to loss of life, injury to people, and damage to property. So it's critical that these role players are functioning in your organization and they know what they're doing. When I talk about these role players, these are 5 people, 5 appointed personnel who have been trained, appointed in writing, and they do practice sessions, fire drills, and that's very, very critical. I'll do another session where I'm just talking about the fire drill. Now, there are 5 main appointees and role players who have to participate in the event of a fire. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, a fire has broken out. There's a fire right now in your organization. Number 1 person we have to have who is trained and appointed is a firefighter. Firefighter or fire marshal. Firefighter, their job, they have been trained in basic firefighting. They've been trained on how to use a fire extinguisher. They know the different types of fire extinguishers. They know the different classes of fire, class A, B, C, D, E, F. They know different circumstances on how to fight a fire, how to deal a fire. They know when not to fight a fire. They've been trained. That's a firefighter. A firefighter's job is to go and deal with the fire. They'll go and grab the fire extinguisher and go and fight the fire. That's what they've been trained to do. That's what they are excited to do. I usually laugh and say that in the event of a fire, the firefighter must actually be saying that, oh, thank God, I've been waiting for a long time for this to happen so that I can do my role and my part as a firefighter. So that's the job of the firefighter. So role player number 1 in the event of an emergency are your firefighters. Firefighters, they go and attack the fire. That's role player number 1. Role player number 2 is your evacuation marshals. While the firefighters are going to fight a fire, evacuation marshals, like I explained on the previous episode, their job is to then evacuate people. When everyone else is going out, firefighters are going in. When firefighters are going in to deal with the fire, everyone else is going out, and they are led by the evacuation marshals. So the job of the evacuation marshals is to direct people. Yes, men. Let's go out. Go out, this way, and they go out and they evacuate. That's the job of the evacuation marshal. And the evacuation marshal's job in that particular circumstance will also be to do a final sweep of the building, check toilets, check bathrooms, check offices, just make sure that everyone is evacuated. That's role player number 2. We have the firefighter going to fight the fire. We have the evacuation marshal getting everyone out. Role player number 3 is the first aider. First aider's job in the event of a fire, when we are saying we have a fire right now, is to grab their first aid box and to help people evacuate. We don't want a situation whereby we get to the assemble point and we get there, the first aider said, I forgot my box inside. No, can't do that. Can't do that. So the job of the first aider is to grab their first aid box, know where it is, readily available, go out with it. First aid boxes, usually if you are going to use a box, they are usually hung on the wall. Some are bolted, but you want them hung on the wall so that in the event of an emergency, you just get them out and then you evacuate. In some organizations, they put first aid contents in a backpack, in a satchel like, and they have that just for emergencies. So that in the event of an emergency, the first aider can, instead of carrying a box, they put everything in a backpack, it's a satchel, and they have got 2 free hands to help people. Help those who are limping, who got injured, who sprained an ankle, and they go out with them. And that's very, very important. That's role number 3. So, firefighter goes fights the fire. Evacuation marshal is evacuating everyone out. First aider gets first aid box and goes and helps and starts attending to people at the assembly point. Those who have injuries, they start doing their thing as trained. Treat for burns, treat for fractures, treat for sprains. That's what the first aider would do. Role player number 4 is the assembly point coordinator. The assembly point coordinator, their job is to grab the list or the list of employees. There should be a list somewhere of all employees so that they are able to make roll call at the assembly point. So their job is just to grab the list and be at the assembly point, try to be the first one at the assembly point and be able to facilitate roll call. And that's very, very critical. So we want the assembly point coordinator to get there, do roll call, make sure that we account for everyone who has to be accounted for, and then boom, we know who's missing, who's not. We take action concerning that. That's role player number 4. Role player number 5 is the health and safety rep. The health and safety rep will then be a person who doubles up, helps out everywhere. Safety rep can be helping the firefighter, collecting fire extinguishers in different areas, supplying the firefighter, or the firefighter fights the fire. Or the safety rep can be helping the evacuation marshal in getting people out. Or the safety rep can be helping the first aider in treating patients. Or the safety rep can be helping the assembly point coordinator in doing roll call and managing people on site. And making sure that people don't run away, don't leave the site. They will be keeping people calm and all. Because in a fire, there is panic, others are crying, others are screaming. So we want the safety rep to help us just manage everything and keep things in point. And that's very, very important. Does that make sense, guys? Those are the 5 role players. There can be more. Stand corrected. Anything can happen. But basically, those are the 5 critical ones, which I think are very important, which I think are very key. So you need to appoint these people. They must be appointed and trained, and you do regular fire drills so that they get to practice and they get to be in action. And that's very, very important. Does that make sense, guys? Hope it does. If you need your evacuation marshals, your first aiders, firefighters, she-reps, trained the right way, trained properly, call us at Development Partners. We'll be able to come and do it for you and do the job right the first time. Thank you for joining me for this episode. Keep well and bye-bye. Cheers, cheers.